Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 10th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I had a really busy Sunday, somewhat kind of messy, definitely rainy, but overall, we marched along. We got through it. Um, let's see, I started off with going straight from actually hanging out from my friend's house. Like, I took a nap, then went straight to Kroger. So I was like there at like 7:30 in the morning. Stomach was not doing too great, so that definitely held me up. But overall, I was able to get all the stuff, which I gotta say was like my biggest grocery order in a while, like in terms of like my checkout. I was not stoked about that, but these things happen. But yeah, we get home. I'm still not feeling too good. So I wind up taking another nap, which kind of set me further back in the day. Then I wind up, getting into doing laundry because I had to put that off. Um, get through laundry, but it was just like a lot of people. So I was like, ugh, this isn't fun. That kind of slowed me down, or at least just made me really anxious. I don't know. Get through that. Then I go to the gym. Gym was pretty good. Gym was solid. But then I finally get home and I'm like, okay, it's a little late, but it's still time to podcast. So there we are. Now we're all caught up with how my day went. Hectic, but overall pretty good. Also, I got some coffee from Scooters. It was good. It was solid. I'm enjoying that place. I know it's my second time going, but overall, thumbs up. Let's see. But yeah, let's talk about last night. It was a fun time. It was a good night. I want to go into Northside, see some friends. It was nice, especially with just like how crazy the week was. It was good just to see some people that I knew, that I loved, and just have some really good conversations with them and just really hang out, shoot the shit, eat some good food. Gotta say, I probably ate too much good food, but we'll get into that. But yeah, we wound up going to Chameleon. I got a slice of pepperoni, a slice of cheese pizza, and instead of the usual fries that I get, I decided to swap out for cheese sticks because I had never had them before, but they were so good. Essentially, it was like three giant cheese sticks, amazing cheese pulls, with a side of marinara sauce. And it was great. It was yummy. I will definitely be getting those again. Highly recommend. But yeah, then later on in the night, because like we did a little bit of bar hopping, then I kind of stopped back at the friend's house and I got a leftover chamwich, so essentially just bonus food. So that was good. But I think that was the reason why my stomach was hurting so much today and just threw off. I think a lot of the day was because I just had this thing and my stomach was just not loving it. It was not a fan, but it was yummy. It was very good. But yeah, overall, just like I said, did a little bit of bar hopping, hanging out, seeing some homies. So it was a good time. But yeah, that was from Saturday to now. Let's go ahead and do the startup and we'll get into some news. All right. Excuse me. First story comes out of CNN. Lebanon, Gaza, and Syria, excuse me, hit by deadly Israeli strikes, reports say. More than 80 people have been killed in Israeli strikes in Lebanon, northern Gaza, and Syria since late Saturday, according to reports. The National News Agency, or NNA, reported airstrikes on the town of Alma in central Lebanon on Sunday. Lebanon's health ministry said 20 people were killed there, including 3 children. Video from the scene shows at least one building was reduced to rubble, with heavy machinery trying to remove debris. At least 2,513 people have been killed and 11,719 injured in Lebanon since September 16th, when Israel stepped up its campaign against Hezbollah, according to a CNN tally of Lebanese health ministry's statements. Let me scroll ahead a bit here. Separately, in northern Gaza, at least 41 people died when Israeli strikes hit two homes early on Sunday morning, according to the Director General of the Ministry of Health in the enclave. And then scrolling ahead again, see if I can find it. In Syria, at least 7 civilians were killed and 20 injured in an Israeli strike targeting a residential building in the I'm getting this wrong, Saida Zinab area of the Damascus countryside. Syrian state news agency SANA reported Sunday, citing a Syrian regime military source. SANA said women and children were among those killed and that private properties were damaged. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our next beat from the BBC. Moscow targeted as Ukraine and Russia trade huge drone attacks. Russia and Ukraine have carried out their largest drone attacks against each other since the start of the war. Russia's defense ministry said it intercepted 84 Ukrainian drones over 6 regions, including some approaching Moscow, which forced flights to be diverted from 3 of the capital's major airports. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia launched 145 drones towards every part of the country on Saturday night, with most shot down. So, I mean, there's some more context here if you'd like to go ahead and, get on the site and read it. But I feel like we can go ahead and just leave it there, at least just with that update. And now we'll go ahead and take it to our last story. But I'm going to do a last break and we'll close it out. All right. Our last story comes from the New York Post. Deadly New Jersey wildfires consume thousands of acres, leaving region blanketed in smoke, but much needed rain on the way. New Jersey firefighters are still battling 9 intense wildfires that have left a teenager dead and the region blanketed in a thick fog of smoke, although Mother Nature's overnight rains might help quell the blazes. The massive deadly fire in rural West Milford, near the New York border, was the largest that still raged Sunday, while smoke eaters seem to be getting a handle on suburban blazes in Passaic County's Pompton Lakes and Inglewood Cliffs in Bergen County. The West Milford blaze, which began near Greenwood Lake, has consumed several thousand acres in New York and New Jersey, and is the most widespread of the nearly 10 fires currently torching the bone-dry Garden State, which is suffering under severe drought conditions, according to the Record. Let's see here. So this was one of those things where I'd covered, or not covered. I was about to cover the story yesterday, and then I just wound up kind of seeing where I was at, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll bump this down, see what happens, like at least covering it tomorrow. And sadly, it didn't get better, but it's at least good to know that there's going to be at least a rain, weather system kind of moving in, though it might not be too much, but I think any kind of thing could help, any kind of like good weather, to assist in terms of taking out the fire is good. Let's see here. What am I missing? Let's see. Yeah, the rain should start around 8 p.m. Sunday and continue all night, covering the region with about a half inch of fire-quenching water. That's not much, but it could help moisten the dry leaves, parched shrubs, and arid soil that's created the circumstances under which wildfires thrive. the weather experts said. But yeah, we will see. I'll keep you posted. I know. I guess it's around 8 o'clock in in my time in Ohio. But yeah, that was just something I've noticed that I guess a few fires. I know there was actually a fire on a bridge in the what is it, Cincinnati? I believe Cincinnati, Kentucky area. If I'm not mistaken. I know I'm just kind of spitballing that, but didn't really get a chance to cover it this week. But I know that was another thing that kind of happened. But yeah, that's where we'll leave it for today. I know this is actually a pretty short, bite-sized episode, but I miss doing these. It's kind of nice to just not go 30 minutes, edge to edge with a bunch of, yapping about my day and to all the crazy things happening and going on. But thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.